Hi, it's Betsy and Jessica here from the Center for Governmental Studies, and we are going to review Prop 8, which is a big story in the news right now. And thankfully, Jessica has done our homework for us, and she's going to tell us what the latest is and what it all means. Jessica, what is going on? It's been obviously dominating the news, but yesterday there were some major developments.
The major development yesterday, Betsy, is that the California Supreme Court decided to hear argument as to whether Prop 8 is valid or not. And they've asked for briefing on three main issues. The first is whether Prop 8 is a revision to the California Constitution or whether it's an amendment. The second is whether Prop 8 violates the separation of powers. And the third is, if Prop 8 is upheld, what happens to all those marriages that occurred between May and November?
Well, maybe we should start with number 3, because that's the short answer is nobody knows.
Nobody knows how the Supreme Court's going to go. I mean, obviously, in order to get there, they would have to say that Prop 8 is valid.
Okay, so let's go back to the first two. The first one is it's a revision versus an amendment.
In a nutshell, Prop 8 was passed by an initiative put on by the people. You cannot revise the California Constitution by an initiative. You can only amend it. The argument is that this is a revision because it's a sweeping change. It's not merely an amendment. Specifically, the claim is that Prop 8 affects a fundamental right, which is marriage, and it affects a suspect class.
Which is a often discriminated against class, or one that needs to be protected.
Right, potentially a vulnerable minority, and that was found to be, gays are found to be a suspect class. So we want to be careful whenever we're making changes to their rights. We want to make sure they're not being discriminated against.
Okay.
So that's the revision versus amendment argument. Now, the second issue for briefing is the separation of powers. And basically the claim is that the judiciary, the executive branch, and the legislative branch all have core functions. The claim is that the core function of the judiciary is to protect the equal protection rights of suspect classes, and that this was taken away by the legislative branch, in this case, by Prop 8.
Okay, so Prop 8 basically is doing business that it shouldn't be doing because it should be done by the legislative branch.
By the judicial branch.
Judicial,
right.
rather. Okay, got that? I think we got it all. So don't know what's happening to the marriages. Might be too much of a change because you can do amendments but not revisions, right?
Right.
And then the third one is that basically it might be doing the job that they're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
Okay. Thank God somebody's doing their homework, right? So if you have any questions, please let us know and we will answer them. And we look forward to hearing from you. And I think that's it. Have a great weekend.